ministers, ambassadors, other government officials, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm honored to be present in this inspiring gathering we call the Somali Partnership Forum. After a very trying and demanding year for all those around the world, there has never been a better time to meet together as one. This forum is a platform where we can collaborate closely, reflect, and celebrate the achievement made thus far, as well as address the major challenges facing the Somali people. Since I came to office, Puntland has achieved much in short time. We have focused on building the institutional capacity of governmental agencies in order to enhance public service delivery. We have also engaged in structural reforms, such as in the security and justice sector, as well as improving the capacity of all our civil servants. These developments are in line with our efforts to continuously strengthen our public financial management system in all areas, so that government can be relied upon as a transparent, accountability service provider for all citizens. No challenge has seemed greater in recent time than the COVID-19 crisis, which has affected millions around the globe. Puntland has experienced multiple setbacks, such as pandemic, natural disasters, and locust invasion, all at the same time. The public health measures that have been put in place in Puntland in order to contain COVID-19 spread, such as social distancing and temporary shutdown of businesses, has dramatically weakened the economy. The increase in the state inflation rate is an example of the worsening economic situation. The ongoing locust invasion has threatened to completely obliterate the already fragile food security system, destroying crops and pastures. Having tackled previous flooding, which have severely damaged the infrastructure of towns, we are now in the midst of another humanitarian crisis. The cyclone Gati, which has caused fatalities and casualties, destruction of road and livelihood in Bari, Karkar, and Gardafour region. Among other key challenges is managing the process of inclusive elections. This process was initially designed based on universal suffrage, one person, one vote, electoral model for the 2020-2021 Somali elections. However, due to circumstances, it was agreed that the most appropriate and alternative electoral model should be conducted in the form of indirect election. These general election principles were discussed and agreed upon by FGS and FMS leaders at the Political Consultative Conference in Lusamareb 1, 2, 3, and later in Mogadishu consultative meeting. In all of these consultative meetings mentioned, all stakeholders agree upon an electoral model based on a specific process and procedure, as well as identifying the location in which the election will be held. The political agreement have been an important and encouraging step toward a more unified approach. But make no mistake, agreements on the technical principles of election must go hand in hand with preserving the integrity of electoral process as whole, such as upholding political inclusivity, widening access to political participation, maintaining transparency and independence, and finally, safeguarding the electoral process from any kind of interference and unnecessary infringement. Your Excellencies, to build on from progress made in Samareb in 1 and 2 and 3 and Mogadishu, these electoral values and principles must be endorsed and upheld as a priority from the upcoming election. In light of this, I would like to draw your attention to this following number of pressing concerns. Firstly, some of election management committee members do not meet the selection minimum agreed criteria, which worries some Somali political stakeholders. Secondly, in the agreement reached between federal governments of Somalia and federal member states, Somaliland Electoral Committee members were to be selected based on consultation process by all Somaliland political stakeholders, while fully engaging with the Upper House Speaker, Honorable Abdi Hashi, in the process. Nevertheless, this agreement was not fulfilled. Finally, as we all know, Gede region is a part of Jubaland state. Therefore, Jubaland has the full legal authority to manage the election that will take place in Bahari district without any political and military intrusion, as in the case in all other federal member state election locations. Indeed, this concerns both significant barrier to holding fair and free election. And I would like to put forward the following recommendations as a way forward. In order to hold timely election, it's imperative that we, federal member states and federal government Somali leaders, meet as soon as possible to address these mentioning concerns and speed up the electoral process. Second, the Somaliland Election Committee membership should be reviewed in line with the consensus of the key political Somaliland leaders, including the Upper House Speaker, Honorable Abdi Hash. Federal government Somalia should withdraw its military presence from the Bahari district in order for the Jubaland state to hold elections in credible and transparent manner. Electoral Management Committee members should be confirmed only once they have met the agreed minimum electoral membership criteria, which is clearly stated in the agreed electoral procedure for 2020-2021. Your Excellencies, after having laid out Puntland's key concern and recommendations for holding free and fair election, I would like to conclude my speech with few important issues regarding matters relating to resource sharing and discussion relating to the constitutional review process. Puntland government welcome the notion that the natural resources of Somalian nation are explored and benefited from by following a legal agreement that clearly define matrix of ownership, administration, and resource sharing model to prevent disputes or conflicts that arise in relation to resource exploration. However, Puntland is concerned regarding the recent decision made by the Federal Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Resources on the issuance of Puntland exploration licenses, petroleum licenses, without an agreed legal framework. Puntland views this as a rash decision which does not serve the interest of Somali people. Regarding the constitutional review process, Puntland government declared that up to now, state delegates who are selected to be members of the Independent Constitutional Review and Implementation Committee have not been allowed to join this committee. This clear violation of the constitutional article 134, clause 2 of provisional federal constitution. Due to this election time, it is not possible to negotiate the politically contentious articles, which included power and resource sharing, capital status, judiciary, and electoral model and physical federalism. We reiterate to all stakeholders to postpone the constitutional review process until after election process has been completed in order to provide sufficient time and full consultation. Your Excellencies, I extended my sincere thanks to the international community for their continued and unwavering support in Somalia endeavor to tackle its biggest obstacles in the developing a fair, free, and stable society. 2 years ago, when I began my search for President of Puntland, I believe that we will reach a united and consultative decision-making model which include the voices, concerns, and experience of all corners of Somali political spectrum. This vision remains a hope till now, and I'm confident we will reach this in the very near future. Thank you very much.
hadal oo ku hadal
bishii oo dhan
$7
oo keliya
ku darso fariin kasta oo aad dirtaana waa ku bilaash isticmaal shabakadda ugu ballaaran geyga Somaliland. haddaba si aad ugu shubato adeega kaafiye fadlan garaac xidig 8 eber 8 afargees ama xidig 2 eber 2 afargees tayo waa telesom